Hey guys, it's Brian with Powerhouse Racing. I'm going to do a quick little video today demonstrating our billet fuel pickup and some of the cool features of it and different ways it can be used. So I'm going to give you my eye view of this thing and let you show us. It's easier for me to make a video this way and point out all the features and to draw up all the different ways this thing can be set up and configured and things it can be used for. So anyway, check this thing out. So here's the pickup. This is the basic. This mounts in the Supra fuel tank. This is basically something we came up with to be able to run either large external pumps or mechanical fuel pumps, and we've made it really adjustable to be able to do pretty much almost any setup you're doing. If you're trying to do some type of a large external pump on the Supra, you want to keep the factory fuel tank, this will do pretty much almost anything you can imagine. So some of the quick features of it, real fast as it comes with a Weldon 100 micron stainless fuel filter, dash 12 in and out, has a dash 12 size pickup tube. It swivels to any direction that you would want. These ports right here can be used as primer pump or for return ports. You can configure it any way you want. It comes with this priming pump bracket. This bracket here, this can be run as a priming pump, or it can be used basically some other guys have been using it to run like a small pump as the normal pump, and then when they use high boost they can switch to another pump. But basically use this bracket here that holds the pump off to the side. This swivels around basically any direction. This swivels around basically any direction. The hat itself can be mounted in any direction. For the sending unit bracket, which this is the bracket for the sending unit. The sending unit mounts into the bottom of the hat, and it can be mounted in a number of different locations. There's holes, I don't know if you can see those, there's holes all the way around the hat, so this can be mounted into these holes in a number of different positions and a number of different ways. The holes on the bracket is reversible to some extent, so you can mount it this way or this way depending on whether you want it on the front. When you mount it in the tank, this could even go on the front and mount the bracket, you know, off into the side. Anyway, so this mounts on a number of different ways. Features are mil-spec connector. This is a circular connector and Tefzel wire, all soldered and loomed. This little port right here is basically you could call it a breather port, but it's not really a breather port. It's really for is where when you're filling your gas tank, this is where the spillover comes in. But if you rotate this into a number of different positions in the tank, you know, this can swivel to different positions. These two other ports here also swivel, so these can be configured to point in virtually any direction. This connector itself can be rotated by removing the screws there and rotating it. The outlet here to run up to the pump, to your external pump, can be done with a dash 12 fitting right here that bolts on in place, sealed with an O-ring. And we have two different versions. We have a dash 12 and a dash 10. The return / primer pump ports can be configured with either dash 8 or dash 6. These can be changed out to run different sizes. You can see on the port itself, this is a dash 6 fitting here. We also have it here with a dash 8 fitting, so dash 6, dash 8. These can be removed, so these can be put into different positions. So this one can go here, and we have, as you can see, there's two variations of it, dash 6 and dash 8, both which can slide in there. These clip in to the top, sealed with O-rings, and then it has a little retaining clip that clips in there and holds it into place. So then we have, so if you're using a, depending which kind of primer pump you have, like the 485 pumps like I have here is a 3/8 port, or 3/8 barb fitting, and we have these in 3/8 barb on the -8. We have them in 3/8 barb on the -6, right there, 3/8 to -6. The 255 pump, which can also mount in here, just like the 485 pump does. The 255 pump, I'm not gonna pull it off, but it's got a 5/16 nipple, and so we have fittings to run a 5/16 nipple. They'll run up to the -6 outlet. Anyway, so all the feeds and returns, priming pump and all that can be configured in a number of different sizes, a number of different ports on it. There's about 1,000 different ways to set that thing up as far as that goes, but one of the most common ways we do it is to basically run a pump full time with a secondary pump picking up out of the tube. Another option we have on this, we use these all the time for our mechanical fuel systems, and when we run, you can set up a mechanical fuel system a number of different ways, but if you do run a mechanical fuel system, we also offer this check valve setup here. This is basically the same pickup as the other one, as a -12 pickup, but as you can see, this one has a check valve in line. The check valve just threads in place of the other one, and it's got these different ports for, depending on how you rotate it, you may want to use one of these other ports, but essentially it's going to have a port here for the priming pump to sit in. Then when you mount your priming pump on, you plumb it to where the priming pump will come out of this port, feed in here, it's checked back here, all the fuel goes up through the main feed up to the mechanical fuel pump. Basically primes the entire system, makes for easy starting, makes it start every time. That's with the check valve. You can set up mechanical pumps different ways as well. You don't have to use this check valve for a mechanical pump, but we find it works really well. A lot of times people complain about on the Supra especially, we tend to mount the mechanical pumps high on the top of the motor off of the camshaft, and so it's above the fuel level. So priming pump really helps with getting the car started. Let's see what else on this thing. That's mainly it. I think the best thing about this is that you can run virtually any combination you can imagine out of it. If you want to run a 485 pump, you want to run a 255 pump, we've got the provisions to do that. If you want to run a -12 main line or -10 main line, you can do that. If you want to run a large return line, we have it for -8, which can adapt to a 3/8. Oh, I guess one thing to mention on this one, as this isn't sitting in the tank, if you were to do the -6 return port here, your inside the tank is the factory return tube that will mount up in here on this fitting here. So what you don't want to do is have it splash down into the tank, because that'll cause cavitation. It basically, as the fuel splashes down into the fuel comes through the return fitting and it drops to the tank, it splashes the fuel, creates a lot of bubbles, and this tube will suck up bubbles. It'll make your pumps cavitate. So you don't want to do that. You always want to have a hose that runs here, at least to the bottom of the tank, so that it doesn't splash the fuel. Then if you're running a really large pump and you need a larger return than the 5/16, you can always run the 3/8 return off of the -6, or the 3/8 return off of the -8. So if you have a -8 return, you have a 3/8 here, in which case if you're running a 3/8 return line, like this one is a really large return line, you would want to run a separate line. You don't want to use a factory return line because it's only a 5/16 hose, or a 8mm hose. But you want to run a 3/8 hose. Just take the 3/8 hose, drop it to the bottom of the tank so it doesn't splash the fuel. That's pretty much all of the features on it. And I think this is a really cool piece. I mean, obviously it can be used in 100 different ways, 100 different options on it. We should have all the options on the drop downs off our website to look at all the different ways to configure it. Anyway, if should be able to figure it all out from this video, hopefully. So any way you can imagine it, this thing can handle it. I think it's a cool piece. Hope you guys enjoy our little video describing it. Anyway, that's basically it. Hopefully you guys enjoy that video. Hopefully you can make good use of this thing. We appreciate you watching it. Thanks.